Vanguard, off Malta, October 24th, 1798. My dear Madam, after a long passage we are arrived, and it is as I suspected. The ministers at Naples know nothing of the situation of the island. Not a house or bastion of the town is in possession of the islanders, and the Marquis de Niza tells me they want arms, victuals, and support. He does not know that any Neapolitan officers are in the island. Perhaps, although I have their names, none are arrived. And it is very certain, by the Marquis's account, that no supplies have been sent by the governors of Syracuse or Messina. However, I shall and will know everything as soon as the Marquis is gone, which will be tomorrow morning. He says he is very anxious to serve under my command, and, by his changing his ship, it appears as if he was so. However, I understand the trim of our English ships better. Ball will have the management of the blockade after my departure, as it seems the court of Naples think my presence may be necessary and useful in the beginning of November. I hope it will prove so, but I feel my duty lies at present in the East, for until I know the shipping in Egypt are destroyed, I shall never consider the French army as completely sure of never returning to Europe. However, all my views are to serve and save the two Sicilies, and to do that which their majesties may wish me, even against my own opinion, when I come to Naples, and that country is at war. I shall wish to have a meeting with General Acton on this subject. You will, I am sure, do me justice with the Queen, for, I declare to God, my whole study is how to best meet her approbation. May God bless you and Sir William, and ever believe me, with the most affectionate regard, your obliged and faithful friend, Horatio. Your faithful and affectionate Nelson. I may possibly, but that is not certain, send in the enclosed letter. Show it to Sir William. This must depend on what I hear and see, for I believe scarcely anything I hear. Once more, God bless you. May 12th, 1799. My dear Lady Hamilton, accept my sincere thanks for your kind letter. Nobody writes so well, therefore, pray say not you write ill, for if you do, I will say, what your goodness sometimes told me, you love. I can read and perfectly understand every word you write. We drank your and Sir William's health. Troubridge, Louis, Hallowell, and the new Portuguese captain dined here. I shall soon be at Palermo, for this business must very soon be settled. No one, believe me, is more sensible of your regard than your obliged and grateful. Your faithful and affectionate Nelson. I am pleased with little Mary. Kiss her for me. I thank all the house for their regard. God bless you all. I shall send on shore, if fine, tomorrow, for the feluccas are going to leave us, and I am seasick. I have got the piece of wood for the tea-chest. It shall soon be sent. Pray, present my humble duty and gratitude to the Queen for all her marks of regard, and assure her it is not thrown away on an ungrateful soil. Vanguard, May 19th, 1799, 8 o'clock. Calm. My dear Lady Hamilton, Lieutenant Swiney coming on board enables me to send some blank passports for vessels going to Procida, with corn, etc., and also one for the courier boat. To tell you how dreary and uncomfortable the Vanguard appears is only telling you what it is to go from the pleasantest society to a solitary cell, or from the dearest friends to no friends. I am now perfectly the great man, not a creature near me. From my heart, I wish myself the little man again. You and good Sir William have spoiled me for any place but with you. I love Mistress Cadogan. You cannot conceive what I feel when I call you all to my remembrance. Even to Mira, do not forget your faithful and affectionate. Your faithful and affectionate Nelson. May 20th, 1799. My dear Lady Hamilton, many thanks to you and Sir William for your kind notes. You will believe I did not sleep much with all my letters to read, etc., etc. My letters from Lord St. Vincent are May 6th. He says, "We saw the Brest squadron pass us yesterday under an easy sail. I am making every effort to get information to Lord Keith, who I have ordered here to complete their water and provisions. I conjecture the French squadron is bound for Malta and Alexandria, and the Spanish fleet for the attack of Minorca. I must leave you to judge whether the Earl will come to us. I think he will, but, entre nous, Mr. Duckworth means to leave me to my fate. I send you, under all circumstances, his letter. Never mind. If I can get my 11 sail together, they shall not hurt me. God bless you, Sir William, and all our joint friends in your house, Noble, Gibbs, etc., and believe me ever, forever, your affectionate friend. Your faithful and affectionate Nelson." February 3rd, 1800. My dear Lady Hamilton, having a commander-in-chief, I cannot come on shore till I have made my manners to him. Times are changed, but if he does not come on shore directly, I will not wait. In the meantime, I send Alan to inquire how you are. Send me word, for I am anxious to hear of you. It has been no fault of mine that I have been so long absent. I cannot command, and now only obey. Mr. Tyson and the consul have not been able to find out the betrothed wife of the priore, although they were 3 days in their inquiries and desired the Neapolitan consul to send to Pisa. I also desired the Russian admiral, as he was going to Pisa, to inquire if the Countess Paushkin had any letters to send to Palermo, but as I received none, I take for granted she had none to send. May God bless you, my dear lady, and be assured I ever am and shall be your obliged and affectionate Bronte. Your faithful and affectionate Nelson. Off La Valette, February 20th, 1800. My dear Lady Hamilton, had you seen the peer receive me, I know not what you would have done, but I can guess. But never mind. I told him that I had made a vow. If I took the Genereux by myself, it was my intention to strike my flag. To which he made no answer. If I am well enough, I intend to write a letter to Prince Leopold and to send him the French Admiral's flag, which I hope you will approve of, as it was taken on the coast of his father's kingdom, and by as faithful a subject as any in his dominions. I have had no communication with the shore, therefore have seen neither Ball, Troubridge, or Graham, nor with the Lion. When I have, I shall not forget all your messages and little Jack. I only want to know your wishes, that I may, at least, appear grateful by attending to them. My head aches dreadfully, and I have none here to give me a moment's comfort. I send the packet to General Acton, as I think it may go quicker, and he will be flattered by presenting the flag and letter to the prince. Malta, I think, will fall very soon, if these other corvettes do not get in. Pray, make my best regards acceptable to Mrs. Cadogan, Miss Knight, little Mary Ray Giovanni, Gibbs, and so on, etc., and ever believe me your truly faithful and affectionate Bronte. Your faithful and affectionate Nelson. June 16th, 1800, 7 o'clock. My dear Lady Hamilton, what a difference, but it was to be, from your house to a boat. Fresh breeze of wind, the ship 4 or 5 leagues from the mole. Getting on board into truly a hog-sty of a cabin, leaking like a sieve, consequently floating with water. What a change! Not a felucca near us. I saw them come out this morning, but they think there is too much wind and swell. Pray, do not keep the cutter, as I have not a thing, if anything important should arrive, to send you. Only think of Tyson's being left. May God bless you, my dear lady, and believe me, ever your truly affectionate and sincere friend, your faithful and affectionate Nelson. Lady Hamilton, put the candlestick on my writing table. January 28th, 1801. What a fool I was, my dear Lady Hamilton, to have your cheering letters directed to Brixham. I feel today truly miserable without them, and I fear they won't arrive until tomorrow. What a blockhead, to imagine anyone could be as active as myself. I've received my orders to place myself under Lord St. Vincent's command, but as the ship hasn't been ordered to be manned yet, it'll be Friday night or Saturday morning before we can sail for Torbay. From now on, direct my letters to Brixham. My eye is in terrible condition. The fleet physician examined it and directed me not to write, though today alone I'm writing to Lord Spencer, St. Vincent, Davison about my lawsuit, Trowbridge, Mr. Locker, and more. Yet you are the only lady I write to. I'm told to eat only simple food, avoid wine and porter, sit in a dark room, wear green shades. Will you, my dear friend, make me one or two? I won't let anyone else do it. I must also bathe my eyes with cold water every hour. I fear all this writing is what caused the problem. My eye is bloodshot, and the film is so extended that I can only see from the far corner, away from my nose. What a fuss I make about my complaints. But, being so far from sincere friends, I have time to brood over them. I just saw Mrs. Thompson's friend. Poor fellow, he's uneasy and melancholy. He begs you to be kind to her, and I assured him of your readiness to help the dear, good woman. Believe me forever, my dear lady, your faithful and affectionate Nelson and Bronte. I will try to write a line to the Duke. My brother had intended to leave tomorrow afternoon, but this half-order may delay him. San Joseph, February 8th, 1801. My dear lady, Mr. Davison is eager to carry an answer back to your kind letter, and I'm sure he'll deliver it promptly. I'm not in good spirits. Were it not for our country's urgent need of every service and ability to secure a just peace, nothing would prevent me from delivering my letter in person. But, my dear friend, I know your loyalty as an Englishwoman. You'd despise those who failed to defend our king, our laws, our religion, all we hold dear. It is your sex that sends us forth, and seems to tell us, none but the brave deserve the fair. If we fall, we live on in the hearts of the women. You are dear to us. It is your sex that rewards us, who cherish our memories. And you, my dear, honored friend, you are, believe me, the first, the best of your kind. I've traveled the world and found none to match you, none even to compare. You know how to reward virtue, honor, and courage, without asking whether they reside in a prince, duke, lord, or peasant. And I hope one day to see you in peace before I depart for Bronte, as I am resolved to do. Darby's is one of the ships sent after the French squadron, so I'll give the print to Hardy. I think it might come by mail coach, wrapped around a stick. Any print shop will provide one. Address it as my letters are. The coach stops for parcels at the White Bear, I believe, in Piccadilly. Pray, have you received any picture from Mrs. Head's? I hope Mr. Bryden has framed them to your liking. He's been instructed to send the bill to me. Tell me how I may serve you and Sir William. nothing would give me more pleasure. Believe me, with the truest affection, your most obliged and faithful friend, Nelson and Bronte. I'm told that the moment the St. George arrives, I'll be moved out of this ship, since the Ville de Paris is bound for Plymouth to be paid, and the Earl will hoist his flag here. If I'm lucky, I'll be given a fresh-painted cabin, but it'll likely exhaust me. In any case, I shall be greatly inconvenienced by all this commotion. It was most kind and friendly of Mr. Davison to travel over 200 miles just to visit me. I suspect the great Earl won't be pleased that he didn't call on him, but his manner of speaking about Mr. Davison for supporting me in the lawsuit is described by Lord St. Vincent to my solicitors as offensive. Why should it be? Only because Mr. Davison wants justice for me, not for me to be crushed by weight of influence and wealth. Once more, may God bless you and Sir William. Nelson and Bronte. Sir Isaac Hurd has gazetted the honors for Trowbridge, Hood, and the rest, but not mine, though he has the king's orders for me as much as for the others. San Josef, February 16th, 1801. My dearest friend, your letters have made me happy today, and I promise I'll never scold again unless you begin. So, please, never do. My trust in you is firm as a rock. I can't imagine who intercepted my Sunday letter, but clearly it was stopped. The seal of the other was visibly opened, though perhaps that happened from letters sticking together. Yours all arrived safely, but their numbering will show if one is missing. I don't think anything especially important was in that lost letter. Believe me, my dear friend, Lady A is as damned a woman as ever lived, and Mrs. W is a bawd. Mrs. U is a foolish go-between, eaten up with pride because a prince, at least that's the implication, condescends to cost her money. Just do as I do, and all will be well. You will be everything I wish. Thank you for your kindness to poor dear Mrs. Thompson. I've sent her a note, as requested by her good friend, who dotes on her. I'm sending you a few lines I wrote during the recent gale. I believe you'll not disapprove. Though polished verse may brighter shine, and sensibility grace every line. Though her soft muse may far surpass all praise, with tenderness to inspire her lays. Deign to receive, though unadorned. By the poetic art, these simple lines that speak the truth of a sailor's honest heart, a heart sincere and ever true, a heart by fate and duty torn in two. One half to country must belong, the better half to love and you. Sooner shall Britain's sons resign the empire of the sea than Henry shall forsake his vow, his loyal pledge to thee. And waves may cease to kiss the shore, and tides forget to flow, ere Henry's love shall ever fade, or falter, ebb, or go. The weather, thank God, is easing. I've just received a letter from the new Earl at the Admiralty, full of compliments, but nothing shall stop my lawsuit, and I hope to defeat him. I trust that once I reach Spithead, I'll find no difficulty securing leave of absence. The volume of letters from just 3 days' postal delay is overwhelming, so I must close now by assuring you I remain forever your attached and unalterably yours, Nelson and Bronte. I shall begin a new letter tonight. March 1801. You ask, my dearest friend, why I don't put my chief forward. He has put me in the front of the battle, and Nelson will be first. I could say more, but I won't upset you, knowing how deep your friendship runs. The St. George will add another ray of glory to England's fame, if Nelson survives. And that almighty Providence, who has shielded me in every danger and covered my head in battle, will still, if it be His will, support and guide me. Keep me alive in your and Sir William's thoughts. My final thoughts will be with you both, for you love and honor me as I do you. I know your hearts by my own. May the great God of heaven protect and bless you both. This is the fervent prayer of your and Sir William's unalterable friend, until death. Friday night, 9 o'clock, St. George, March, 1801. Having finished a great deal of business, my truly dearest friend, I can finally surrender to my private feelings, which are fixed, ever and always, on you. Whenever duty does not arrest my attention, my heart turns to you. I have read all of your kind and affectionate letters, and I've read them over and over. And though it pained me, I committed them to the flames. There was one I am glad not to have read in its time, where you spoke of dining and singing with that man. Thank God it never happened. I could not have borne it. Not then, and now even less. But I know now, he shall never dine with you. You would sooner leave the house than suffer it. And as for letting him hear you sing, I only hope he is struck deaf and you dumb, rather than such a thing come to pass. Yet, I trust it never can now. You cannot imagine how alive my feelings are toward you, perhaps stronger than ever, and they shall never fade. My every effort will be to deepen and renew the bond between us. I spoke today with Mrs. Thompson's friend. The man seems to devour my every word when I speak of her and his child. He says he will never forget your kindness and love for them both. I've had the joy of seeing the child. Truly, a more beautiful one was never born of two people. It is, in truth, a love-begotten child. I am determined to keep him on board, for I know, should they be left together, they would soon have another. But after our 2-month trip, I hope they'll never be parted again. Then let them do as they please. We are all bustle and activity. I sail Monday, after your letter arrives. Troubridge will send it as an Admiralty letter. By Tuesday, I shall be in the Downs, if wind allows. Troubridge will then forward it under cover to Admiral Lutwidge. It is not my intention to set foot ashore, save only to pay my respects to Admiral Milbank. Though I've been urged to dine on land, I refuse. Not until I dine again with you. 11 o'clock. Your letters have just come aboard. They echo my own heart. I trust we shall soon meet, to part no more. Remember, I am ever and only yours. Yours faithfully and affectionately, Nelson and Bronte. I charge my only friend to keep well, and think of her Nelson's glory. I've written to Lord Eldon as my brother asked, and as for the Pigot Diamond, if you buy a ticket, make sure it's the right number, or else it's money thrown away. Forever, ever yours. Kindest regards to my dear Mrs. Thompson and my godchild. Deal. Medusa, July 31st, 1801. My dearest Emma, did you not receive my letter from Sheerness on Thursday morning? I had just set off for Deal. I've no letter from you yesterday, only Wednesday's. which went to Sheerness. It was my cursed blunder, not yours, for which I deserve the punishment of missing even one of your letters. They are my comfort, my joy, my delight. My time is fully taken up, and my hand aches before night. Last night, I went to bed at 9:30, but the hour was so odd to me. I lay awake until I heard the clock strike 1. To say I thought of you would be nonsense, for you are never out of my thoughts. At this moment, I see no hope of getting to London. But soon enough, the duties of my command will become so simple a child could handle them. And those post-chaise rascals, they were paid in full. Captain Parker has the receipt, over £7. So do not pay a farthing more. I paid the cart-chaise at Dartford. You need not fear all the women in the world, for to me, all others but you are pests. I know but one. Who could ever be like my Emma? I trust you will never do anything to hurt my feelings, and I would die, by torture, before I did anything to offend you. 10,000 kisses to my dear Horatia. Yesterday, talk turned to the cowpox. A gentleman swore his child, inoculated with it, remained untouched after living with one who had the smallpox the natural way. Just a fever for 2 days, and a little inflammation on the arm. No full-body scabs. But do as you think, be saint. I didn't get your newspapers, so I don't know what promise you meant. No promises have been made to me. The extension of the peerage patent is moving forward. They've asked for clarification on my brother's wording. It must be a new creation. First to my father, if he outlives me, then to William and his sons, then Mrs. Bolton and hers, and Mrs. Matcham and hers. Beyond that, I care not. It is far enough. Still, the original patent might carry on by issue mail of my own body. I am not so old. I might marry again. A wife more suited to my genius. I like the Morning Chronicle. Forever, ever yours. Only yours. Your faithful and affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. Best regards to Mrs. Nelson, the Duke, and Lord William. I have failed entirely for poor Madame Brueys. Bonaparte's wife is from Martinique, and there may be some scheme afoot. Sheerness, August 11th, 1801. My dearest Emma, I arrived from Harwich yesterday at noon, never setting foot ashore, though the volunteers were drawn up and the people ready to pull my carriage. Parker nearly received all the honors. But I want no honors but those my dear Emma confers. You have sense enough to know whether they are deserved or not. I did come ashore to meet with the Admiral, who lives in a ship hauled up on land, and the Commissioner. I slept at Coffin's, and having done all I can, I'm off again for the Downs, if possible, today. Until the 14th of September, I remain at the Admiralty's disposal. But if Mr. Bonaparte does not send his miscreants before then, my health will not bear the equinoctial gales. I wish Sir William had returned. I would beg him to come to Deal, or Dover, or Margate, for, cut off from the society of my dearest friends, it is a life of sorrow and sadness. But, pazienza per forza. I hope you will get the house. If I buy it, no one can say this or that must stay the same. You shall have full say in all arrangements. Remember me kindly to Mrs. Nelson, the Duke, and Lord William. Write to me at the Downs. May heaven bless and preserve you, for ever and ever. This is the constant prayer of your most affectionate and faithful Nelson and Bronte. The mayor and corporation of Sandwich came aboard to present me the freedom of their ancient town. They pressed me to dine with them. I tried to beg off, but they won't be denied. This unpleasant business still hangs over me, and I shall be pressed again when I reach the Downs. But I will not dine there without your approval, and perhaps, even then, I shall find a way to avoid it. Oh, how I hate to be stared at. August 18th, 1801. Deal. My dearest Emma, your dear, good, kind, and most affectionate letters, from Saturday through last night, have arrived, and I feel everything you say with my whole heart. May heaven bless me soon with the joy of seeing your angelic face again. You are a nonpareil, matchless. No one is fit even to wipe your shoes. I am, always have been, and always will remain your most firm, fixed, and unalterable friend. I do wish Sir William had returned a week ago. Then I would have seen you here. This morning I attended the funeral of 2 young midshipmen, Mr. Gore, a cousin of Captain Gore, and Mr. Bristow. One was just 19, the other 17. Last night I spent the whole evening in the hospital, making sure everything was being done for the comfort of the poor fellows. Now I am heading back on board, for nothing should keep me living ashore, not unless you were here. I'll come in the morning to see Parker, and then go straight back to the Medusa. I'll be glad to see Oliver. I hope he keeps his tongue quiet about the tea kettle, for I shall not give it away until I leave the Medusa. You ask me what Troubridge wrote? Not a syllable about you, only something about my not coming to London, to which I laughed. He said then that he'd never venture another opinion. So I told him, then I shall never give you one. Today he wrote a kinder letter, and that matter is now over. Still, I told him, in my letter of today, that I remain firm in my belief that Lord St. Vincent and he should have allowed me to come to town to settle my own affairs. Everyone knows I left without a single thought for myself. I know he likes to be near you, but shall he enjoy that felicity while denying it to me? No, that he shall not. Still, this business cannot last long. I hope we shall have peace, and I lean more and more toward that belief. But the devil himself shan't get me out of the kingdom without spending some days with you first. I hope, my dear Emma, you will be able to find a house that suits me. And I am sure, under your arrangement, I will be truly happy. I've written a line to Troubridge about Derby. Parker will write you a note of thanks, if he's able. I trust in God he will yet do well. You ask whether I am going on another expedition? Even if I risk forfeiting your friendship, which is dearer to me than all the world, I can say nothing. For if I see the enemy and can reach them, it is my duty to act. And you, with your good sense, would hate me if I ever held back a moment. I long to repay them for their tricks the other day, the full debt of a drubbing, which, believe me, I shall pay. But as to when, where, or how, no man can say, and I cannot tell you. I give you my word of honor, I will not act in any rash or hasty manner. That you may always rely on. Just going off now. Ever, forever, your faithful and affectionate Nelson and Bronte. Kindest regards to Mrs. Nelson. Medusa, Downs, August 31st, 1801. My dear Emma, dearest, best friend of my heart, Sir William has arrived safely. Remember me kindly to him. I would have welcomed him, but for one of my lords and masters, Troubridge. So I'm sure neither you nor Sir William will feel obliged to him. The weather is dreadful, and I'm terribly seasick. I fear your letter may struggle to reach me, but I write now to request you press on for the house and furniture. I will be so happy to lend it to you and Sir William. Better to secure a quiet home than occupy a public cake house open to everyone. You know well how restless such places can be. Why did the Duke not aid Sir William when he most needed it? Why leave him to sell jewels to secure a lodging while his own relations stood by? Forgive my frankness. You know if anything sticks in my throat, it must out. Sir William owes his life to you. He will never forget it. Return, then, to the house. Buy it, and furnish it without delay. The sooner, the better. Oh, how fierce this storm. Yesterday, some ladies of rank, Countess Montmorris and her party, came alongside with Mr. Lubbock begging admission. I refused. My time is for His Majesty's service, and I will not be shown about like a beast. Captain Gore backed me, though I suspect the ladies admire him greatly. These were his relations, yet be he ever so kind, I will not indulge my curiosity. I've just received your letters. Many thanks. You didn't mention Sir William's arrival in your last line. I'm glad you approve of my resolve. Rest assured, I will take no unnecessary risks. No more boat work, I promise you. Ever your attached and faithful, Nelson and Bronte. Give my kindest regards to the Duke, Lord William, and Mrs. Nelson. I'm so dreadfully seasick I cannot lift my head. September 21st, 1801, 10:15 p.m. My dear Emma, please send any parcel for Mrs. Doughty directly to her, otherwise it may go astray. If her clothes are mixed with mine, separate them and send them on to Merton at once. A bed or two may belong to my father, but I'm not certain. I enclose Dr. Baird's comforting note just received. You'll find Parker treated like an infant, poor fellow. I trust he will recover and soon take possession of his room at the farm. Ever your affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. Amazon, September 26th, 1801, 8 o'clock. My dearest Emma, your kind letters arrived around 6 this evening. Rest assured I shall love Merton. I trust your taste and judgment implicitly. We must work within our means, but I know you will make it the prettiest place in the world. Mr. Hazelwood acted as any lawyer would, only minding the client. But you will show Mrs. Greaves every kindness on my behalf. If I can afford to purchase Duck Close and the adjoining field, it would be pleasant, though I fear my finances only settle at New Year's Day. We will employ our village tradespeople whenever possible, and encourage their loyalty and attention to us. From my heart, I wish I were with you. Today I feel unwell, violent headache and chill, though it may simply be agitation. Whatever you do for my little charge, I will be pleased. She will likely lodge at Merton, at least in spring when she can enjoy our walks. It will make her mother happy, I'm sure. I will have the child christened when I return. Is our church at Merton suitable? We shall set an example of goodness for the parish. How I long to be with you at Laleham. I will never forget our happiness there. Mr. Davison will pay Mrs. Nelson £50 on October 1st. Perhaps Mr. Shakespeare has orders to that effect. I received a letter from my father yesterday. He hints at actions I may not like, perhaps moving to Somerset Street. Shall I broach that topic with an old man? It may shorten his days. I will wait for your opinion. If I begin, the whole story of her ill treatment of her son will come out, and you must decide. Parker's prospects seem bleak, despite earlier hopes. I intended to call on Admiral Lutwidge this morning, but the wind blew fresh from the southwest. I dared not risk it. At 10 o'clock, along with your letters, came Dr. Baird's note. Every hope is gone. I have asked that news of his death be telegraphed to the Admiralty. They will surely honor his memory, though they refused to promote him. What are our feelings, my dear Emma? Yet we must cheer up. Convey my best regards to Mrs. Nelson. Ever your most affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. Best wishes to Sir William. I send you the last Admiralty report. Who knows what tomorrow brings? Amazon, October 8th, 1701. My dearest friend, I write today, though no boat can reach us in this weather. What purpose does it serve to keep me here, cut off from news? The sea rose from calm to mountainous in an hour, and it made me very ill. I thank Providence I did not attempt my visit. Until I leave station, I wish not to leave the ship. Deal has always been my abhorrence. That Parker is a villain. Langford owed him £25, yet tricked him into accepting 34. Worse still, he begged my help, claiming his pocketbook, containing £20, was stolen, and he lacked mourning for his son, when in fact he had £47 on him and sold some of the boy's belongings. He swindled not only me, but Captain Sutton, Bedford, and Hardy. I now am certain he lost no farthing. His entire plea was a fraud. Thus good-naturedness is abused, my dear friend. I have done with that wretch forever. I hope he has taken nothing from you. If you promised him anything, send it not. At 10 o'clock, your kind letters arrived, rejoicing me that you've settled into Merton. I hope to get mail ashore, but it is uncertain. Ministry think of my services quite differently than you do. But never mind. I will soon be done with them afloat. Convey my kindest regards to Sir William and all our friends. Ever your faithful and affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. I've just had a very kind letter from Captain Rudd. He will visit me wherever I am. He inquired after you and Sir William. 10 o'clock, October 12th, 1801. My dearest friend, this being a very fine morning and smooth beach. At 8 o'clock I went with Sutton and Bedford, and landed at Walmer, but found Billy fast asleep. So left my card, walked the same road that we came, when the carriage could not come with us that night, and all rushed into my mind, and brought tears into my eyes. Ah, how different to walking with such a friend as you, Sir William and Mrs. Nelson. Called at the barracks on Lord George, but he is gone to London. From thence to the Admiral's, found him up, and, waiting half an hour to see Mrs. Lutwidge, who entreated me to stay dinner, came directly on board. I did not even call to see poor Langford, who has been worse these few days past, and God knows when he will be well. I am afraid it will be a long time, for several pieces of bone are lately come away, and more to come. But Trowbridge has so completely prevented my ever mentioning anybody's service that I am become a cipher, and he has gained a victory over Nelson's spirit. I am kept here. For what he may be able to tell, I cannot, but long it cannot, shall not be. Sutton and Bedford are gone a tour till dinner time, but nothing shall make me but almost force go out of the ship again till I have done. And the Admiralty, in charity, will be pleased to release me. I am in truth not over well. I have a complaint in my stomach and bowels, but it will go off. If you was here, I should have some rhubarb, but as you are not, I shall go without. Sutton has sent into Yorkshire for a cow that in the spring will give 14 pounds of butter a week, and he has given Alan the finest goat I ever saw. The latter, I am afraid, will be troublesome. Just as I was coming off, I received your packet, and thank you from my heart for all your kindness. What can Reverend Sir want to be made a doctor for? He will be laughed at for his pains. I thank you for the king's letters. I shall write a kind line to Castelcicala and answer the king's very soon, and write to Acton, for he can make Bronte everything to me if he pleases. I dare say I did wrong, never to write him, but as he treated Sir William unkindly, I never could bring myself to it. I am glad the Duke has been to see you, and taking plants from him is nothing. Make my kindest remembrances to him. I would have everybody like your choice, for I am sure you have as fine a taste in laying out land as you have in music. I'll be damned if Mrs. Billington can sing so well as you. She may have stage trick, but you have pure nature. I always say everything for you and Sir William. I wish you had translated the King's and Acton's letters. Bronte cannot. I may be able to dispose of Charles, but not of the other, and he would corrupt Charles. Forever yours, your faithful and affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. Mrs. Lutwidge inquires always particularly after you. We all laugh, and say she is more fond of soldiers than ever, since General Don has shown her how he would keep off the French. Amazon, October 15th, 1701. My dearest friend, I have received all your letters of yesterday, the one sent from Merton, and even the one missent to Poole. I'll wait to write directly to Merton until I know that the letter I sent to Sir William yesterday reaches you before those sent via London. The Admiralty refuses me leave until the 22nd, and then grants only 10 days. What a set of beasts! My cold has settled into my head, and my teeth ache so dreadfully I can scarcely hold it up. Yet no one here cares a jot for my suffering, so I cannot yet discharge my steward. On reflection, I think I will send all my belongings ashore and trust they'll be returned, keeping only my bed with me. What do you think? In any case, I shall soon possess tablespoons, forks, and more to the value of 200 pounds. What a boor that Miss Knight is! As for the other lady, I care not a whit what she says. My poor dear father is in the wrong, but more on that when we meet, which I trust will be by Friday the 23rd, if not the 22nd, despite the Admiralty's hardness. I'm sorry you've been ill. My cold is so severe I cannot lift my head, and I fear I write stupidly. So forgive this letter, my dear friend. Admiral Lutwidge sails for Portsmouth, and Sir William Parker faces some trial. Give Sir William my kindest regards, and believe me ever. Yours most faithfully, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. I have written a line to Merton. Excuse my letter. Amazon, October 16th, 1701, morning. My dearest friend, this fine, calm morning, I went ashore to call on Admiral Lutwidge and returned before 10 o'clock. Mrs. Lutwidge is delighted with your gift. Sutton and the others were summoned to admire it. She joins in cursing the Admiralty's obstinacy and pressed me to dine with them at 3. But I told her I would not dine with an angel, only to be dragged through a surf at night. She laughed, saying she hopes soon I shall dine with an angel, certainly you, so perfect she deems you to be. Who could doubt it? You show kindness to all, old or young, rich or poor. I called on poor Langford, still very ill with bone fragments emerging, and on Dr. Baird, who now prescribes magnesia and peppermint instead of rhubarb. Then to Mr. Lawrence, all in one busy hour ashore. Civility to Lutwidge was my duty. Once I received your letters, I returned to the ship, reading them with joy. They've lifted my spirits and eased my pain. I admire your care of the pigs and poultry. Sheep are most beneficial when folded on the grass by night. Do you see to that? Employ your head farmer well, and consider keeping a farming account book. I trust you procure good fish, though I fancy they are not of the finest quality. Thank God, only 6 days remain before I join you and explore every beauty of Merton. Leaves or no leaves. No one will take amiss our wish to live in retirement. We shall welcome our sea-going friends, whom Sir William rightly esteems above all. Mr. Trevor seeks my recommendation for a youngster, but none before your Charles. I've letters from a female relation with 3 husbands, and her brother, a Nelson in the North Seas, aged 45, whom I've tried to promote without success. Captain Trowbridge advises me to wear flannel shirts. Does he care for me? No matter. They'll work hard to send me back to you. Remember me kindly to Sir William, the Duke, and all friends, and believe me ever. Your most affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. Do you ever see Castelcicala? A good man, faithful to his master and mistress. Amazon, October 16th, 1801, afternoon. My dearest friend, I send you letters for Alan's wife and one for Germany. Please have Oliver post the German one at the Foreign Office and cover the postage. I would send you the original, but it would be overweight. It contains only compliments, and all true. A crisp, cold breeze blows, yet the day remains fine. Give my best regards to Sir William, Mrs. Cadogan, Oliver, and all our friends. Forever yours faithfully, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. The Reverend Doctor's letter arrived. He writes as if he were a bishop, and the University Beadle praised his sermon. I hope you sent him something fitting, for these big wigs love their feasts. Amazon, October 17th, 1801. My dearest friend, though my complaint is not life-threatening, it resists doctor. Baird's remedies and has settled in my bowels. I wish the Admiralty felt such discomfort, but they have no bowels, at least none for me. Last night was poor, yet your and Sir William's letters have cheered me greatly. I enclose Lord Pelham's letter. I shall attend and show that I can serve in council as in the field. Perhaps the Admiralty delay me to prevent another petition. Rest assured, I shall dine with you by Friday, 3:30 or 4 at farthest. I will not dine with Mr. Pitt, as Mr. and Mrs. Long are there, whom I have never met and care not to. I pray I arrive unmolested. My sole desire is retirement with my friends. Thank Sir William kindly for his letter and enclosure, which I return. Sutton and Bedford are delighted by your letters and promise a visit. They have been truly good to me. The weather has been cold but fair. I have a fire in my cabin and hope my complaint abates. May heaven bless you. I send this via Trowbridge, addressed in Piccadilly. You may rely I shall admire every detail of the pigsty, ducks, fowl. Whatever you do is perfect. Dr. Baird visited, and believes a few days ashore will restore me. Remember me to Sir William, the Duke, and all friends, and believe me ever. Your most affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. Mrs. Lutwidge babbles of marrying a soldier, yet no good soldier would want her. Sutton's man reports on the farm's sheep and lambs. No doubt you manage wisely. Sir William's letter delighted me with news of your prudence and activity. Amazon, October 17th, 1801, afternoon. My dearest friend, Yawkins is in distress. His cutter has been paid off and he now has little to live on. He sends his respects to Sir William. He called here for breakfast this morning. Many long faces at the prospect of peace. Forever your faithful, Nelson and Bronte. Amazon, October 17th, 1801, later. My dearest friend, Hardy asks that you forward the enclosed to Naples. Tyson's return is awaited. Many pull at him, and I wish to pay his debts. I will not owe him 48 hours beyond his arrival. Hardy has just anchored. His Commodore gone ashore. Forever your most faithful, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. Mrs. Nelson should direct her letters to me unless I'm ashore. Postage paid by you draws unwanted post office attention. Amazon, October 19th, 1701. My dearest friend, what a gale we've endured. Admiral Lutwidge's boat did make it off, and I trust your letter landed safely, though the sea nearly swallowed our boat whole. No other launch could have stayed afloat, so I could not open and reply to your kindly words until this morning. You judged well to send Mrs. Lutwidge a gown. She adores you, though her taste runs to red coats, while yours remains true blue. Today they dine with Mr. Long. Pitt keeps no public table. Yet I shall pay my respects, though he's done nothing for me or my family. My heart, however, yearns to hear your gentle anecdotes. A white hen in a tree, Fatima's story, even your playful Cupidie, Cupidie. Far more stirring than any speech in Parliament. For I know you can thunder such eloquence that corruption itself would tremble. Poor Oliver troubles me. What ails him? I shall leave my cot aboard until my formal discharge, when it will come ashore to the farm. Cots are a sailor's best friend. Pray send the pictures from Davison's and Dodd's, especially my father's portrait and Davison's. And, if Sir William has not yet sat to Beachy, I wish for a half-length in the same size. Your Hamburg portraits must soon arrive. Do keep their unfolding directions and measurements ready, that the frames may be made. I will brook no delay in hanging them. The weather eases, though landing today would still be perilous. I hope for a smooth beach by Thursday. I shall call on Mr. Pitt, visit the hospital, and depart Friday at first light. My cold still rages, and my bowels trouble me by night. Yet the Admiralty's tenure is not eternal. Everyone has their day. God bless you, my dear friend. Ever remain. Yours most faithfully, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. Your letters of yesterday are received. The Reverend Doctor fancies himself a bishop. I've forwarded poor Thompson's appeals, and Mrs. is distressed to the Earl. Kindest regards to Sir William. Amazon, October 20th, 1701. My dearest friend, how could you think for a moment I'd pander to any minister? My aim is to show them I serve as well in council as on deck, so that my attendance may be eagerly sought. For myself, I ask nothing, but for my brother something may be gained. Though I dine frequently with Mr. Addington, I shall not be a mere time server. I will only attend when you deem it necessary. Once, perhaps twice, but no more. You know, court favors are earned by making oneself indispensable in reasonable matters, and never to ask for the unreasonable. It bores me to attend the house. I shall tell Mr. Addington I go on the 29th only to please him, not myself. We'll discuss more when we meet. Dr. Baird lies stricken with rheumatism. Now he admits that a cold can affect me too, and this place is assuredly the coldest in England. Captain Trowbridge writes, hoping I may walk ashore now the weather has turned fine. Yet I suspect he laughs at my discomfort. I agree you should procure Sir William a pony from the Duke. I'm dispatching Captains Conn, Rowley, Martin, and Witter to the Nore to be paid off. The surf still rages. Should Thursday still be rough, I'll boat to Dover and carriage to Deal. Sutton vows to get the Amazon under sail to convey me, so that I may avoid further chills. Bedford sails for Margate with the squadron, and our little fellowship will disperse. Yet I am grateful to each of them. Give Sir William my kindest respects. I remain ever your most faithful and affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. I wish Charles separated from Banty. He's too cunning and may corrupt the boy. Hardy cannot yet recover the £100 he advanced for Mr. Williams's nephew. Many thanks for Mrs. Nelson's letters. The Reverend Doctor's ambition for an address of thanks is folly. Neither king nor court will heed him nor me. Amazon, October 20th, 1701. My dearest friend, only 2 more days they can, with any conscience, hold me here, though conscience seems scarce among the Admiralty. I fear I'm lean with sickness, when a warm room and good friends might have restored me long ago. Yet I depart this squadron with genuine regret, and their sincere goodwill. I laugh imagining you rowing me, a one-armed admiral, among the waves at Walmer, a perfect caricature. Well done, farmer's wife. I'll wager your turkey outperforms Mrs. Nelson's, though Sir William and I shall be the judges. Hardy assures me his appetite remains keen. Your frugal ways will make us rich. Tell Sir William I send the impudent Welsh midshipman's letter as a curiosity. He presumes far too much. Only yesterday, a Yorkshireman asked to borrow £300 to start a school. Are they mad, or do they take me for a fool? Yet I laugh at their folly, and remain your ever-obliged and faithful friend, Nelson and Bronte. Best regards to Sir William, Mrs. Cadogan, and all our friends. Amazon, October 21st, 1701. My dearest friend, the west wind blows strong and the surf is fierce. Hardy and Sutton advise my landing today, lest tomorrow's gale be worse. Yet what comfort would 2 days ashore at the Deal offer? I've ordered a Deal boat, better versed in the beach, and will sail to Ramsgate Pier if need be. Has Mrs. Cadogan received my peer's robe? I must summon Mr. Webb to adjust it to a vice-count's. Lord Hood writes to introduce me. I shall dine with him on the 24th only, if you wish, for I dread large parties. I trust all your livestock thrives. Sheep folded overnight enrich the soil, and poultry and pigs flourish under your care. I'm pleased Sir William now rides the Duke's pony. The exercise will do him good. Alas, Dr. Baird's condition worsens. His recovery seems doubtful. This place courts colds and bowels still ail me. I doubt my winter's health if I remain on board. Yet only 6 days lie between us. By Friday at dinner, I will be with you, if Providence allows. I beg no interruptions. My sole wish is retirement among loved friends. Sutton, Hardy, and Bedford unite in warm remembrances. As Monday is Horatia's birthday, I shall send her a sovereign. My heart is warm, though the cold bites me through and through. Ever your truly affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. P.S. Mrs. Lutwidge whispers of marriage to a soldier, a bargain no good soldier would make. And Yawkins, now paid off, begs his respects to Sir William. Peace brings many long faces. May 22nd, 1803, 8 o'clock in the morning. My dearest Emma, we are now in sight of Ushant, and shall see Admiral Cornwallis within the hour. I confess I fret at the thought he may keep the Victory, and consign us all to the Amphion. It would be most uncomfortable, yet I can do nothing to prevent it. Know this, my dear Emma, I feel certain we shall meet again in honor, in wealth, and in health, and remain together till a good old age. I gaze upon your portrait and our godchild's, yet dare not hang them until I am assured of my station here. Rest assured, my attachment and affectionate regard are unshakable. Say so to my dear Mrs. T. when you see her. Tell her my love is boundless to her and her sweet child, and, if more should come, it will extend to them all. In short, my dear Emma, speak every tender word your affectionate heart and mind can conceive. We are most comfortable. Mr. Elliot has regained his spirits. He was very low in Portsmouth, while George Eliot thrives. Please tell Lord Minto so. Murray, Sutton, and every soul aboard seems content, and if we meet a French man of war, I have no doubt they will fare as they did of old. Hardy is gone to Plymouth to secure our Dutch prize. I trust she will prove a worthy capture. Gaetano sends his duty to Milady. He is a good man, and I believe he will return soon. I think this war cannot last long, just enough to make me independent in all financial matters. If the wind holds, by Tuesday we shall sight Portugal, and before next Sunday enter the Mediterranean. To Mrs. Cadogan, to kind Mrs. Nelson, to Dr. Baird and all our friends, convey my warm regards. If you wish, you may mention the entailment of my pension, though he may be so preoccupied with Canterbury that the topic may wait for some dull evening at Hilborough. I stop now to go aboard the Admiral's ship. Tell Mrs. T. that I shall write her at the first safe opportunity, though I'm not certain of this letter's delivery. After June 1st, I will direct my mail to Merton, so when you change address, instruct Davison to send to Nepean, though not with too many directions, lest he grow confused. May God in heaven bless you. Praise your most sincere. Nelson and Bronte. P.S. I'd like Stevens's publication. I have mislaid my silver seal, or so it seems. July, 1803. My dearest Emma, though I have written from various ports merely to report here I am and there I am, I feared those dispatches would be read, and so said no more than, here I am and well. I see no certain means of conveyance but by sea, and with the small vessels the Admiralty assigns, those voyages are sadly infrequent. Our passages have been excessively long. From Gibraltar to Malta we sailed 11 days, arriving on the 15th evening and departing in the small hours of the 17th. It was not until the 26th that we reached Capri, where I had ordered the frigate carrying Mr. Elliot to Naples to join me. I enclose copies of the King and Queen's letters and grieve that Her Majesty did not mention you. Surely a political omission. When I wrote to the Queen, I declared I left Lady Hamilton on May 18th, and remained confident she would lay down her life to protect your Majesty. I assured her your Majesty never had a more sincere, devoted friend than dear Emma, and I regret Sir William did not leave her the comfortable fortune he might. He divided it among relations. Yet she will honor his memory, though others may censure him. I trust dear Emma has written to you. If she can forget Emma, may heaven itself forget her, though I doubt she ever will. Now is her moment to prove her devotion. Show the King and Queen's letters only to a few trusted friends. His Majesty is low in spirits and resides mainly at Belvedere. Mr. Elliot saw neither His Majesty nor Her Majesty from May 17th, the day of his arrival, until the 21st, when he was to be presented. I am convinced that Corsican scoundrel plans to conquer Naples, having marched 13,000 men into the kingdom from the Adriatic side. He will claim Gaeta and Naples by some flimsy shadow of right, and if the poor king remonstrates or allows us to secure Sicily, Buonaparte will call it an act of war and declare a conquest. I have warned General Acton not to risk the royal family too long. Yet Naples must fall in time, as suits Buonaparte's convenience. He eyes the Morea and Egypt as well, and 70,000 of his men gather in Italy. Gibbs and Noble have gone to Malta. I am anxious to clear Toulon and rejoin the fleet. Sir Richard Bickerton sailed from off Naples the day I left Gibraltar. Yesterday we passed Monte Cristo, Bastia, and Cape Corse, and now steer for Toulon, though all I know of their strength is uncertain. Some say 9 ships of the line, others 7 or 5. If they muster 9, they will sortie, for we match them in number, including 64s, soon to be fully manned. I await their move eagerly, for I abhor suspense. On July 8th, I left, to record that Toulon's harbor holds 7 ships of the line ready, 5 frigates and 6 corvettes, with 1 or 2 more due soon. Our own force stands at 8 ships of the line today, 7 tomorrow, including 2 64s. You know my joy when I receive a letter from you, and learn all since my departure. I hope Mr. Booth has settled your accounts. Never mind a few £100. The law's harsh grip steals what justice would leave you. Fear not want. While I have a 6pence, you shall not lack a penny. You have learned that money cannot buy friendship, a lesson lamentably gained. I hope the minister has aided you in some measure, but should we subsist on bread and cheese, so be it. Independence is a blessing. Though I have yet to find the road to prize money, what has been taken sustains us. Surely I shall earn enough to clear my debts, a small comfort. I have not yet broached my Bronte affairs to Acton. If Naples endures much longer, I shall inquire, though I expect no assistance. I believe even Acton longs to be safely away. From what I hear, the king's spirit is so weighed down he may resign Naples to his son and retire to Sicily. Sir William always thought so. His position must break any heart. Gaetano returned by frigate, carrying his family's funds. Mr. Falconet will pay Mr. Greville's pension to Gaetano's kin. I have set Gaetano to post his letters. He sends his duty and reports that Mr. Ragland, after Sir William's death, will pay no pensions without Mr. Greville's orders. Vincenzo has received none. He is poor, tending a shop. His son sought to sail with me, but I cannot maintain him, so I encouraged him not. Old Antonio's allowance of a carline, a day lapses now unpaid. Sabatello remains with Mr. Elliot. Niccolo and Mary Antonio have left Mr. Gibbs. Gaetano suspects for reasons of the heart. Francesca has 2 living children, another expected. She thrives like the brave soul she is. Pasquale lives with the Duke Monteleone, and Joseph with the old Russian. Your house stands as a hotel, the upper rooms reserved for the Marquis. Mr. Elliot has taken the Bail Franconi residence on the Chiaia. Dr. Nudi inquired after us kindly, and all Santa Lucia's women expected your arrival when they saw Gaetano. Bread is dearer than ever, though all else abounds. Wages unchanged. England's poor remain 1,000,000 times better off, says Gaetano. Thus ends Gaetano's news. He sends his duty to Signora Madre, and remembrances to Mary Ann, Fatima, and others. On July 8th, we joined the fleet. The men are spirited, though the ships show wear and lack crew. We shall never be stronger. Let them come. The sooner, the better. I shall write the Duke to remind him of my friends. And, my dearest Emma, I trust you will speak kindly for me to Dr. Baird, Mrs. Nelson, Mrs. Bolton, Mr. and Mrs. Matcham, and Mrs. Cadogan, whose kindness I shall never forget. Please forward the enclosed as directed, and know that to life's last moment I remain your most devoted, faithful, and affectionate. Nelson and Bronte. Victory. Off Toulon, August 1st, 1803. My dearest Emma, your letter of May 31st, sent via Mr. Noble of Naples, and enclosing Mr. Davison's correspondence with Plymouth, arrived by the Phoebe 2 days ago. This is the only scrap of a pen received by anyone in the fleet since our departure from England. You can imagine, my dear Emma, the sensation that reading even your few lines occasioned. Such feelings can only be understood by hearts bound in the mutual and sincere attachment you and I share. Though your words were few, they spoke volumes, and I most heartily approve of your plans and the society you envisage for next winter. Next spring, I hope to be wealthy enough to begin improvements at dear Merton. It will give you delight, and I shall admire every change, even the planting of a humble gooseberry bush. Sutton joined me yesterday, and we are all now aboard the Victory. In a few days she will be in fighting trim. Everyone speaks most highly of Mr. Chevalier, the servant recommended by Mr. Davison. I intend to live as frugally as befits my station. Having known the pinch, I shall strive never to know it again. I wish to send £2,100 to clear Mrs. Greaves on October 1st, yet I have not received a farthing. Mr. Hazelwood has promised to see this matter set right. Hardy is now busy hanging your portrait, and Horatia's in my cabin, and I trust the other 2 from the exhibition will soon arrive. I need no further adornments. These reveal fresh beauties each day. We see little news here. I fear Naples may fall into French hands, and Sicily too if Acton is not vigilant. My final counsel has been given so fully that I shall bear no blame. Captain Capel says Mr. Elliot cannot endure Naples. I suspect it differs greatly from your time there. I believe the Queen has written to Castelcicala, for her letter to me thanks me only for safeguarding the kingdom. If Dr. Scott has leisure, he shall prepare a copy for you. The king has withdrawn to Belvedere and refused to receive General St. Cyr, the French envoy. He seems ready to cede Naples and retire to Sicily, should the French permit. Acton has not dared to offer Mr. Elliot or any Englishman a single dinner. Our fleet stands ready, though the French hesitate to meet us. Today I have promoted George Eliot to post captain, Lieutenant Pettit to master and commander, and Mr. Hindmarsh, gunner's son of the Bellerophon for gallantry 5 years past, to lieutenant. I count the loss of 2 French 74s as a consequence of not sailing in the Victory, but I hope they will present themselves soon. This letter goes to Gibraltar with Sutton aboard the Amphion. I will write to Dr. Baird shortly. By the French papers, I learn he has kissed hands. With kindest regards to your good mother and all at Merton, ever yours most faithfully and affectionately, Nelson and Bronte. Victory, off Toulon, August 10th, 1803. My dearest Emma, I seize the opportunity of Mr. Acourt's passage through Spain, bearing Mr. Eliot's dispatches to England, to send this letter, for I would not miss any chance to write to you. By Gibraltar I wrote as recently as the 4th, yet all our communications with England remain uncertain. I fear the Admiralty has forgotten us, for no vessel of any kind has joined the fleet since we left Spithead. I am absolutely ignorant of news, save that one of my schooners ventured too close to Toulon and was set upon by 4 frigates. She and a water-laden transport for our fleet have been captured. Still, I trust soon to repay them their debt with interest. At Naples, Mr. Acourt reports hopes that Russian mediation might save the kingdom. But I doubt Russia will go to war with France on Sicily's behalf. The poor Neapolitans, relying on a broken reed, risk losing Sicily outright. As for securing anything for Bronte, I expect nothing. The finances of Naples are more wretched than ever. Patience, however, my dear Emma. I note many bishoprics lie vacant. Does my brother grow weary of Canterbury? I wish I could secure that dignity for him. Should you see or write to him, say I have but 10 minutes to spare before Mr. Acourt must depart. I hope Lord St. Vincent has dispatched Sir William Bolton to us. Once I know who holds the Admiralty, I will write at once. Ever your most devoted and affectionate, Nelson and Bronte. Victory, August 24th, 1803. My dear Lady Hamilton, your friend's godson arrived safely yesterday afternoon, and, as you know, I am always delighted to carry out your wishes, for you ask no favors except on behalf of those you love. In every respect, from ambassadorial duties to the comforts of home life, I have never known anyone to match you. Your elegance of manner, your accomplishments, and above all your goodness of heart, are without parallel. Believe always, and beyond all measure, that I remain your faithful and devoted, Nelson and Bronte. August 26th, 1803. My dearest Emma, by the Canopus, Admiral Campbell, I have received your most kind and affectionate letters from May 20th to July 3rd, save one of May 31st, sent to Naples. This is the first word from England since we sailed. Your letters, my dear Emma, delight and move me in equal measure. They paint so vividly the life you lead and the plans you form that I cherish them as the next best thing to being with you. Always remember this: Nelson's everything is Emma. My affection and love extend beyond this world, and nothing can shake them. Only you yourself, and I reject even the thought for a single moment. You are the truest friend of my heart, and dearer to me than life itself, and I trust I am the same to you. I rejoice at your pleasant journey into Norfolk, and I look forward to the day I bring you there by ties of family as well as of love. Let no mention of that person's name stir your anger for no good purpose. Character judgments of others matter little compared to the bond we share. This letter will meet you at dear Merton, where we shall one day be truly happy together. I do not think this war can last long, probably much shorter than men expect, and I hope to find the new room built, the grounds laid out simply but neatly, the Piccadilly gates renewed, and the kitchen garden established. Give me but a plan, and all will proceed well. It will amuse you endlessly, and Horatia shall plant a tree. I have no doubt she will be busy at it. I long for the inexpressible happiness of returning to Merton. Even the thought thrills me, for my love for you is as boundless as the sea. I feel all your dear mother's kindness, and I trust we shall thrive by our economy. Spending money merely to please the world is folly. Please say every kind word on my behalf to her, and present her with a small token in my name. Dr. Scott has departed with my mission to Algiers, or I would send you a copy of the King and Queen's letters. Here is Her Majesty's letter to me. Both the King, the Queen, and Acton treated Sir William Bolton with courtesy. He dined with Acton. Bolton does well in his brig, but has made no prize money. Were I to know where opportunities lay, I would send him there. But until Spain declares war, I shall incur considerable expense here, though Mr. Chevalier manages everything with care, and I am grateful. I asked William if he wishes to remit any of his wages to his father. He receives £18 a year as part of my retinue, so there is nothing for me to pay. I have told him whenever he chooses to send money, to contact Dr. Scott or Captain Hardy for a remittance bill, and he may act freely. Speaking of Dr. Scott, he thanks you for news of Mrs. Scott's safe delivery. No letters reached him in the cutter, and he was deeply anxious. He is a most excellent and loyal friend, and I count myself fortunate in his service. I admire your kindness to my sister Bolton. I have written that I will indeed assist Tom Bolton at college, though I caution that one should promise no more than can be performed. That is the surest service of all. Should vacancies arise, God willing, my income will grow, and I can do more. Regarding Mr. Bolton, none know I have no influence. Yet, if he will specify his needs, I will endeavor to help. But he would likely be worse off than now. I could prove it easily, but to speak further would seem that I court influence, and I will not. I wish to see Sir H. P.'s book. I cannot reconcile how a man famed for extravagant use of government funds can write a good tale. I wrote recently to the old Duke. I respect him, yet would never permit him to overstep his bounds with you. I believe Mr. Bennet's bill is correct, but it was not intended to be paid from Merton's allowance. How could you have sent Mrs. Bolton £100 from your income? Were Mr. Addington to grant you £500 a year, you would give more freely than you do now. Your purse may be light, my dear Emma, but your heart is always generous. Your mother is ever assured of my most sincere regard. Be sure to tell her so. Connor progresses admirably, yet I cannot ask Captain Capel to rank him. His advancement depends on his merit and Capel's goodwill. I have entrusted another year's allowance of £30 to Capel, and given Connor a small gift. What a tale of Oliver and Mr. Matcham buying an estate in Holstein to such loss. I never heard the like. It may be a fine country, though miserably cold. I hope it serves his plans well. How little sense Tyson shows. I trust he never wants for funds. Troubridge's harsh words trouble me not. His tongue is no scandal. You amuse me greatly when you mimic the doctor. I am delighted by Miss Yong's kindness. Please convey my warmest respects to her and her father, and tell Mr. Yong how grateful I am for his attentions to you. Those who serve you are sure of a place in my esteem. I have written to Dumouriez. Kindly tell him how much I respect him. He must have suffered at Altona, yet I trust he is now comfortably settled. He is a clever man who outshines many generals. Advise him to make no enemies by showing his talents. Envy spares no one. I have stationed Suckling in a frigate under a good commander with a schoolmaster aboard. He does very well. Bulkley shows promise as a sea officer, though he lacked proper service time. I have replied to Mr. Suckling's letter. Gaetano is in good health and sends his duty. Sometimes I think he wishes to stay in Naples, but I cannot be certain. Mr. Dennis's kinsman has long served in the Victory, yet if the Admiralty refuses to promote my lieutenants, they must stagnate. I hope they will not inflict such cruelty. I received a most affectionate letter from Lord Minto. May George's confirmation soon follow, though the Earl has not yet replied. I shall send you sherry and a cask of Paxaretti by the convoy. Perhaps best to ship them to Merton or Davison's cellar, where the cooper can barrel them off. I have 2 pipes of inferior sherry. If you wish, send a hogshead of that to the doctor when the new casks arrive. Davison will cover all duties. Ship everything carriage paid. Doing it well is half the task. The Paxaretti I have left with Davison, and ordered 1 hogshead of fine sherry to Canterbury, and another to dear Merton. Victory, September 10th, 1803. My dearest Emma, what can I send you, buffeting the stormy Gulf of Lions? Nothing but my warmest affection, in return for all your goodness to me and mine. I have sent to Naples to try and get some shawls from the King's manufactory, and have requested Mr. Falconet to ask his wife to choose some for you, and also some fine Venetian chains. I only wish, my dear Emma, that I knew what you would like, and I would order them with real pleasure. Therefore, pray tell me. We have so very little communication with the Mediterranean world. Malta and Toulon are in separate worlds. It takes, on the average, 6 or 7 weeks to get an answer to a letter, and in 15 to 20 days, by the French papers which we get from Paris, we have news from London. Not the best side of the question, you may be sure, but enough to give us an idea of how matters go on. I am of opinion that we shall have a peace much sooner than is generally expected, and that will be, to me, the very highest pleasure in this world, to return to Merton and your dear beloved society. Then I agree with you that I would not give 6 to call the King my uncle. I have wrote again to Gibbs about my Bronte affairs, and the copy of a letter to Mrs. Grafer I will send you if I can. But you must preserve it, for I have no other. It may be necessary, situated as I am, to keep her in good humor, for £1,000 may be easily sold off the estate, and I never the wiser. However, you will see what I have said. I have wrote to Mr. Elliot about Sabatello. What a rascal he must be. Gaetano is going to Naples, and I shall tell him. But of course he would rather favor Sabatello, his brother-in-law, than Julia. I send you, my dearest Emma, £100, which you will dispose of as follows: a present for yourself, and, if you like, a trifle to the servants, something to the poor of Merton, something for Mrs. Cadogan, Miss Connor, Charlotte, and so forth. I only send this as a trifling remembrance from me, whose whole soul is at Merton. September 16th. The day after I wrote the former part of this letter, Mr. Scott received from Venice and desired to present to you 2 very handsome Venetian chains, received from Venice. This I would not suffer, for I allow no one to make my own Emma presents but her Nelson. Therefore he will be paid for them, but your obligation is not the less to him. He is a very worthy, excellent, modest man, and an excellent secretary. Dr. Scott is, at times, wrong in the head. Absolutely, too much learning has turned him. But we all go on very well. I had a letter from Gibbs about Bronte, and from Noble, which will begin another letter. Only, believe me, at all times, sides, and ends, most faithfully yours forever, Nelson and Bronte. September 26th, 1803. My dearest Emma, we have had, for these 14 days past, nothing but gales of wind and a heavy sea. However, as our ships have suffered no damage, I hope to be able to keep the sea all the winter. Nothing but dire necessity shall force me to that out-of-the-way place, Malta. If I had depended upon that island for supplies for the fleet, we must all have been knocked up long ago, for Sir Richard Bickerton sailed from Malta the same day I left Portsmouth, so that we have been a pretty long cruise. And if I had only to look to Malta for supplies, our ship's companies would have been done for long ago. However, by management, I have got supplies from Spain and also from France. But it appears that we are almost shut out from Spain, for they begin to be very uncivil to our ships. However, I suppose by this time something is settled, but I never hear from England. My last letters are July the 6th, near 3 months. But, as I get French newspapers occasionally, we guess how matters are going on. I have wrote Mr. Gibbs, again, a long history about Bronte, and I hope, if General Acton will do nothing for me, that he will settle something. But I know, whatever is settled, I shall be the loser. Till next year, the debt will not be paid off. How? My dearest Emma, your truly kind and affectionate letters from July 17th to August 24th all arrived safe in the Childers, the 6th of this month. Believe me, my beloved Emma, that I am truly sensible of all your love and affection, which is reciprocal. You have, from the variety of incidents passing before you, much to tell me. And, besides, you have that happy knack of making everything you write interesting. Here I am, one day precisely like the other, except the difference of a gale of wind, or not. Since September 1st, we have not had 4 fine days, and, if the French do not come out soon, I fear, some of my ships will cry out. You are very good to send me your letters to read. Mrs. Dennis is a damned pimping bitch. What has she to do with your love? She would have pimped for Lord Bristol, or Lord L, or Captain M. She is all vanity, fancies herself beautiful, witty, in short, like you. She be damned. As I wrote you, the consulship at Civita Vecchia will not, in itself, pay their lodgings, and the bad air will tip her off. There will be no Lord Bristol's table. He tore his last will a few hours before his death. It is said that it was giving everything to those devils of Italians about him. I wish he may have given Mrs. Dennis anything, but I do not think it. And as for you, my dear Emma, as long as I can, I don't want any of their gifts. As for old Queen, he may put you into his will, or scratch you out, as he pleases. I care not. If Mr. Addington gives you the pension, it is well, but do not let it fret you. Have you not Merton? It is clear, the first purchase, and my dear Horatia is provided for, and I hope, one of these days, that you will be my own Duchess of Bronte, and then a fig for them all. I have just had a letter from Gibbs, of which I send you a copy. You see what interest he is taking about Bronte. I begin to think, without some assistance like his, that I never should have touched a farthing. It will be 1805 before I touch the estate. Neither principal or interest of the 7,000 ounces have been paid, and it is now 8,000 ounces debt. You will see Gibbs at last has fixed on sending his daughter home, and I shall be glad of so good an opportunity of obliging him, as it will naturally tie him to my intra-saint. He was a great fool not to have sent the child with you as you wished. I am glad to find, my dear Emma, that you mean to take Horatia home. Ay, she is like her mother, will have her own way, or kick up a devil of a due saint. But you will cure her. I am afraid I should spoil her, for I am sure I would shoot anyone who would hurt her. She was always fond of my watch, and, very probably, I might have promised her one. Indeed, I gave her one which cost 6pence. But I go nowhere to get anything pretty. Therefore, do not think me neglectful. I send you Noble's letter. Therefore, I hope you will get your cases in good order. They have had some narrow escapes. I am glad you liked Southend. How that Coffin could come over, and palaver, Rowley, Keith, etc., and Coffin to abuse the Earl. Now I can tell you that he is the Earl's spy. It is Coffin who has injured Sir Andrew Hammond so much, and his custom is to abuse the Earl to get people to speak out, and then the Earl takes his measures accordingly. To me it is nothing. Thank God, there can be no tales told of my cheating, or, I hope, neglecting my duty. Whilst I serve, I will serve well and closely. When I want rest, I will go to Merton. You know, my dear Emma, that I am never well when it blows hard. Therefore, imagine what a cruise off Toulon is. Even in summer-time, we have a hard gale every week and 2 days heavy swell. It would kill you, and myself, to see you. Much less possible to have Charlotte, Horatia, etc., on board ship. And I, that have given orders to carry no women to sea in the Victory, to be the first to break them. And, as to Malta, I may never see it, unless we have an engagement, and perhaps not then, for, if it is complete, I may go home for 3 months to see you. But if you was at Malta, I might absolutely miss you, by leaving the Mediterranean without warning. The other day we had a report the French were out, and seen steering to the westward. We were as far as Minorca when the alarm proved false. Therefore, my dearest beloved Emma, although I should be the happiest of men to live and die with you, yet my chance of seeing you is much more certain by your remaining at Merton than wandering where I may never go, and, certainly, never to stay 48 hours. You cannot, I am sure, more ardently long to see me than I do to be with you, and, if the war goes on, it is my intention to get leave to spend the next winter in England. But I verily believe that long before that time we shall have peace. As for living in Italy, that is entirely out of the question. Nobody cares for us there, and if I had Bronte, which, thank God, I shall not, it would cost me a fortune to go there and be tormented out of my life. I should never settle my affairs there. I know my own dear Emma, if she will let her reason have fair play, will say I am right. But she is, like Horatia, very angry if she cannot have her own way. Her Nelson is called upon in the most honorable manner to defend his country. Absence, to us, is equally painful. But if I had either stayed at home or neglected my duty abroad, would not my Emma have blushed for me? She could never have heard of my praises and how the country looks up. I am writing, my dear Emma, to reason the point with you, and I am sure you will see it in its true light. But I have said my say on this subject, and will finish. I have received your letter with Lord Williams and Mr. Kemble's about Mr. Palmer. He is also recommended by the Duke of Clarence, and, he says, by desire of the Prince of Wales. I have, without him, 26 to be made captains, and list every day increasing. It is not one whole French fleet that can get through it. I shall probably offend many more than I can oblige. Such is always the case. Like the tickets, those who get them feel they have a right to them, and those who do not get them feel offended forever. But I cannot help it. I shall endeavor to do what is right in every situation, and some ball may soon close all my accounts with this world of care and vexation. But never mind, my own dear beloved Emma. If you are true to me, I care not, and approve of all my actions. However, as you say, I approve of them myself. Therefore, probably I am right. Poor Reverend Mr. Scott is, I fear, in a very bad way. His head has been turned by too much learning, and the stroke of lightning will never let him be right again. The Secretary Scott is a treasure, and I am very well mounted. Hardy is everything I could wish or desire. Our days pass so much alike that, having described one, you have them all. We now breakfast by candlelight, and all retire at 8 o'clock to bed. Naples, I fancy, is in a very bad way in regard to money. They have not, or pretend not to have, enough to pay their officers, and, I verily believe, if Acton was to give up his place, that it would become a province of France. Only think of Buonaparte's writing to the Queen, to desire her influence to turn out Acton. She answered properly. At least, so says Mr. Elliot, who knows more of Naples than any of us. God help him. And General Acton has, I believe, more power than ever. By Gibbs's letter, I see, he has sent over about my accounts at Bronte. He can have no interest in being unfriendly to me. Why should he? I want no great matters from him, and he can want nothing from me, that it is not my duty to give his sovereigns. Therefore, why should he be against us? For my part, my conduct will not alter, whether he is or not. Our friend, Sir Alexander Ball, is a very great diplomatic character, and even an admiral must not know what he is negotiating about, although you will scarcely believe that the Bey of Tunis sent the man at my desire. Namely, the Tunisian envoy is still here, negotiating. He is a moderate man, and, apparently, the best disposed of any I ever did business with. Could even the oldest diplomatic character be drier? I hate such parade of nonsense. But I will turn from such stuff. You ask me, do you do right to give Charlotte things? I shall only say, my dear Emma, whatever you do in that way, I shall always approve. I only wish I had more power than I have. But somehow my mind was not sharp enough for prize money. Lord Keith would have made £20,000, and I have not made 6,000. Poor Mr. Este, how I pity him. But what shall I do with him? However, if he comes, I shall show him all the kindness in my power. October 22nd. The vessel is just going off. I have not a scrap of news. Only be assured of my most affectionate regard. Remember me kindly to Charlotte. Shall always love those that are good to Horatia. I will write her by another opportunity. Remember me to Mrs. Cadogan. You may be sure I do not forget Charles, who has not been well. Captain Capel is very good to him. I am ever, forever, my dearest Emma, your most faithful and affectionate, Nelson and Bronte.